Yo, what's up, y'all? It's Cone back here again today with another video. Today, we're doing another quiz. The last video I did was also a quiz, and it got pretty good reception. And I thought this would be kind of an interesting one, a good way for me to talk about a little bit of every single NBA team. I'm going to go through and try and guess every single NBA starting lineup. This was last updated August 31st, which was just about a week ago. So this should all pretty much be up to date. I don't think there were any major moves that would have changed any of these things unless I'm blanking on something, and then that'll probably show up in the quiz. But we're going to go through this. I'm going to give you my thoughts on every team's starting lineup, kind of how I like it compared to last year's. I thought it'd be a fun way to kind of recap the whole offseason as a whole as we kind of get into the final few days of it. We're only like a month away from the NBA season. Still a couple videos. I want to drop some big videos, so make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss out on those coming up. If you like the quizzes, drop more. And also a suggestion last time was I leave the quiz in the description so that you can try playing it before watching this if you want to, or you can play alongside me to see how you do in comparison. So we'll go ahead and just get it started with the Atlanta Hawks. So at point guard, it's going to be Trae Young, who had a ridiculous playoff run. At shooting guard, it'll be Bogdanovic. At the small forward position, it will be Hunter, Collins, Capella. Nothing changing from last season, as it shouldn't. They had a crazy good run, and there's no reason for them to change anything up with how well it worked. So good for them for keeping the core together, mainly extending Clint Capella, keeping John Collins, and hopefully DeAndre Hunter is able to stay healthy. And if he is, the Hawks are going to be a super big threat in the East. For the Celtics, we've got I think Smart should start at point guard, but it looks like they're going to go with Dennis Schroeder. I think Smart should start at point guard. Maybe you could start Josh Richardson, but I think Schroeder should come off the bench. I just think he's better in that role and he would be better suited. Maybe they'll try a little bit of both, kind of experiment throughout the season, but I think Schroeder kind of might serve better as their sixth man. Then you've got Tatum, you've got Brown, and Horford. They don't think Horford's going to start. This is just their projection, by the way. This is nothing like confirmed. They think Robert Williams will start. I think Al Horford starts just because Robert Williams has some problems staying healthy, and he kind of has, I believe it's something wrong with his knees that keeps him from playing a ton of minutes, and so I think he'll be better suited coming off the bench. For the Brooklyn Nets, it's gonna be pretty much the same. I don't think they'll change much. It'll be Kyrie Irving at the point guard, James Harden, Joe Harris, Kevin Durant, and Blake Griffin. Nothing should really change. This is a really, really good lineup. One of the best in the NBA, if not the best. 3 top 15 players, one guy that's like top 3, top 2, and then another guy that's borderline top 5 at the worst. It's a crazy good lineup, bringing back Blake Griffin. Joe Harris was there to stay and adding some more depth alongside that. The Nets are in for a great season. For the Hornets, no more Devontae Graham, not that he was really starting anyways, but they've got LaMelo Ball, they've got Terry Rozier. I would think it's kind of tough because Hayward's going to start. I spelled that wrong. I really want to see Bridges start. They don't think he's going to start. I like Bridges' game a lot, but I just don't think he's going to fit into this team because I think it's going to be PJ Washington and Plumlee, who they traded for. Kind of a forgotten trade, I think, in the course of the NBA offseason where a lot of big things happened. They're going to be a fun lineup. The Hornets were one of the most fun teams to watch last season, and if you didn't watch a lot of Hornets basketball last year, I recommend you do it this year alongside this next team that got a lot better. Probably the most improved team in the entire NBA through this offseason. Bring in Lonzo Ball alongside Zach LaVine to make a great backcourt in Chicago. Then at the small forward, you're going to have DeMar DeRozan. You could play him at the 3 or the 4. He played a lot of 4 this past season. Put Patrick Williams at the other spot with Nikola Vucevic, their trade deadline acquisition last season, alongside him. Great starting lineup. For the Cavaliers, they've got a really fun, exciting young core with Garland and Sexland in the backcourt. By the way, top tier nickname, like very few nicknames for a duo come close to that. At the small forward position, I'm going to guess it's going to be Okoro, and then I think they should start Mobley and Allen next to each other. They did bring in Lauri Markkanen, who I think could mess that up, but I would start Mobley and Allen. It's a lot of money to pay a backup with paying Lauri Markkanen like $16 million a year, but I don't know. I don't know what Cleveland was doing with that. I made a whole video about that. I hope this is their starting lineup because I think it has a lot of potential, and these are their best 5 guys going forward. For the Mavericks, we've got Luka, of course. I almost typed his first name. I've got to type last names here. We've got Luka. They brought back Hardaway Jr. They've got Kleba. They've got Porzingis, and they're going to have Finney Smith, I'm guessing. Oh, I only had to type Finney. All right, pretty good starting lineup. I think they'll be good. This was like exactly what they ran out last year. Hopefully they're able to stay healthy. They had a lot of injuries last year. Kristaps missed some time. Kleba missed some time, if I recall correctly. Dorian Finney-Smith is really underrated. This team is going to be good. It's just a question mark of if Kristaps really can be the second star that can help Luka get past the first round. For the Nuggets, I don't think much will change other than the fact that Jamal Murray will be out to start the season. At the point guard, I'm guessing it's going to be Monte Morris. Shooting guard, it will be Will Barton with Michael Porter Jr. there at the 3. You've got Aaron Gordon, who they picked up at the trade deadline, and Nikola Jokic to round things out. It's going to be a great starting lineup. They're really, really good. This team's going to be super competitive. It's a shame Jamal Murray won't start the season with them, or might not even play over the course of this season, because he was so good in the playoffs. And then over the course of this past season, even, he was really good. And the Nuggets as a whole were killing it. And then he ends up going down. They were one of the best teams in the league as soon as they picked up Aaron Gordon. And I think they could have won the West if Jamal Murray was healthy. For the Pistons, it's going to be a fun year for them. They've got Killian Hayes there in the backcourt, who I think gets forgotten about a little bit too much because of Cade Cunningham, #1 overall pick, my pick to win Rookie of the Year. They're going to have Jeremy Grant out there as well. I'm guessing Steve Bay will probably start, and you're going to have, I hope, Isaiah Stewart starting at the center position. This is the starting lineup I hope we see. A lot of young talent, not going to win a ton of games, but going to be super fun to watch. One of the future really good teams of the NBA. I like what they're doing in Detroit. For the Golden State Warriors, it's going to be Steph Curry, the return of Klay Thompson, who's been gone forever. Or they don't have Klay. I'm guessing it's just because he's injured. They just forgot about Klay, I guess. But it's going to be Curry. It's going to be Klay, I think Wiggins, and then it's going to be Draymond Green and James Wiseman. They'll be a really good team as well. The return of Klay, if he's able to return to the player we saw pre-injury, which is a big ask, then I think the Warriors will be really difficult to beat on any given night. It's just a question of what Klay looks like when he comes back. Steph is a top 3-4 player in the NBA. I think 3 is probably pretty safe to say. Hopefully a big year from Wiseman, and picking up a guy like Otto Porter to come off the bench is going to be a good acquisition if, once again, he can stay healthy. A lot of injury concerns on that Warriors team. For the Houston Rockets, it's going to be John Wall. Obviously, Jalen Green already here because we typed in Draymond Green. He is another guy that could win Rookie of the Year, 2nd overall pick. Going to be super exciting. I'm guessing, are they thinking Kevin Porter Jr. doesn't start? I would be surprised if he doesn't. They think Jayshawn Tate is going to start at the 3. It's tough because you want to start Jalen Green and Kevin Porter Jr. because they kind of seem to be maybe your backcourt of the future, but John Wall needs some minutes. Maybe you can play up his value and you can trade his contract later. Is a tough kind of ask. At the power forward, it's going to be Christian Wood and then maybe Şengün, or no, probably Daniel Tice then. They did pick up Daniel Tice, another kind of forgotten move. The Rockets will be fun to watch. The Pacers trying to make a comeback after a super injury-riddled season with Malcolm Brogdon. They're going to have Karis LeVert, which I forget he's on there sometimes. TJ Warren, if he's healthy. I don't know if he is, though. His injury feels like it's really lingering. Then you've got Sabonis and Turner, who are both really good players. Sabonis, an all-star. He can be a perennial all-star. It's a super talented starting 5, and with Brett Carlisle coming in, it'll be interesting to see what the Pacers can do. The Clippers, not going to be as good as last season because they lost Kawhi Leonard for probably the whole year. Trading Patrick Beverley to the Memphis Grizzlies, and then he's now on the Minnesota Timberwolves, giving Reggie Jackson a bag. Reggie's going to start the point guard. I think you could have Terrence Mann start if you want to. They don't think he's going to. You could have Bledsoe start there as well. They also don't think he's going to. Interesting. Paul George will probably be there. Then maybe Nick Batum at the 3 is what they're saying. And then Zubac at the 5. No, Ibaka at the 5. I don't know. The Clippers could run a lot of different ways. For the Lakers, though, I think it's going to be Westbrook. I think maybe Ellington is what they'll go with. Yeah, Ellington's a good shooter. I could also see Malik Monk starting there for them. Then, of course, you've got LeBron James. You've got Anthony Davis. And at the center position, maybe Gasol. Yeah. They'll be really good. I don't need to tell you what the Lakers. The Grizzlies having a really successful season. Change it up a little bit. Still got John Morant and Dylan Brooks in the backcourt. Still got Kyle Anderson, who I think is super underrated. But now having Steven Adams instead of Jonas Valanciunas at your center position, they might take a step back this season, but I think it could help them to take a step forward in the future, given what they got in the trade. Miami Heat, another really improved team. Bringing in Kyle Lowry. You've got Jimmy Butler, of course. You've got Victor Oladipo if he's able to stay healthy, which they don't have him starting. Makes sense, because I do think Duncan Robinson makes sense to start. If Oladipo gets healthy and he's your 6th man, that's a really good spot to be in. Picked up PJ Tucker, now NBA champion PJ Tucker, and then Bam Adebayo at the center, who I think is going to have a great year. Defending NBA champion Milwaukee Bucks with, I typed in JR for Drew and got 2 juniors down there with Wendell Carter and Gary Trent, but they've got Drew Holiday. They've got Chris Middleton at the 3. I'm guessing they think DiVincenzo. Oh, I spelled that wrong. DiVincenzo is probably going to be back. I don't know when he's coming back. I thought it was an ACL injury. We'll see. We'll see when DiVincenzo comes back. At the power forward position, of course, they have Giannis Antetokounmpo. That was spelled really wrong. Giannis Antetokounmpo, and then Brook Lopez at the center. Defending champions, not going to change things up. I'm kind of running low on time, so I'm going to speed it up a little bit. For the Timberwolves, they've got a lot of ways they can go. They're going to have Anthony Edwards at the 2. They're going to have D'Angelo Russell at the 1. I think McDaniels should start at the 4. They agree. Then you've got, of course, you could do Beasley at the 3. Another thing is you could do like a Kogi there and have Beasley come off the bench for scoring, which also I could see them doing. And then Towns, who I think has become super underrated, is going to start there at the center. People will be reminded how good he is this year. For the Pelicans, I think it's going to be Devontae Graham. You're going to have, of course, the replacement for Lonzo Ball. I think it's Alexander Walker. Yeah, Alexander Walker there at the shooting guard. At the small forward, it's going to be Ingram. Then we've got Zion and newly acquired Jonas Valanciunas, who I think is going to have a big impact on this team. For the Knicks, you've got new addition, Thunder legend Kemba Walker. RJ Barrett, you've got at the shooting guard position. Do they think quickly? No. Who am I blanking on? Oh, God, I'm going to blank. I've gotten so far without messing something up. Randall is there at the 4. And at the shooting guard position, who is their shooting guard? Why am I blanking? I don't know why I'm blanking. We'll come back to... Oh, Rose? No, not Rose. We'll come back to it. For the Thunder, of course, I think our starting lineup should be Shea, Gilgeous-Alexander. I think it should be Dort. I think it should be Giddey. They don't think Josh Giddey's going to start, so I'm guessing they think Baisley, probably Pokuševski, and Favors, I'm guessing is what they're going to say. No, not Favors. Maybe Roby. Roby, this is something I could see. I really hope that Giddey starts. I think he will. For the Magic, I think it's going to be Fultz. Suggs maybe at the 2, Isaac at the 3, or at the 4, excuse me, and then at the 3, who's their 3? I want to try and make sure to get to every team, so I'm going to skip that for right now. I don't mind if I don't get 100. For the Sixers, it's going to be Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Danny Green, Tobias Harris, and Joel Embiid, at least until Ben Simmons gets traded. For the Suns, it's going to be Chris Paul, Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, and Jay Crowder. They won't change anything. They won the West. There's no reason to change anything. For the Blazers, it's going to be Lillard, who's still on the roster as of right now. They're going to have CJ McCollum, who's been his long backcourt partner. They're going to have Nurkic. They're going to have Covington. And they're going to have... Who's going to be their small forward? Who am I blanking on? Snell, maybe? No, not Snell. Who's their small forward this past season? Oh, Norman Powell. I don't know why I was blanking on his name. Norman Powell. I keep thinking of Gary Trent Jr. For the Kings, we have De'Aaron Fox. We've got Hield. Davion Mitchell won't start, probably to start things off. We've got Harrison Barnes there at the 3. Bagley probably at the 4. And Rashawn Holmes, who they brought back at the 5. For the Spurs, we've got DeJounte Murray. We've got Derek White. We've got, I don't think Primo will start. Yeah, okay, they don't think so either. Keldon Johnson, I think will start. Jakob Poeltl at the center and at the power forward position. Luka Samanic, maybe? No. Who's going to start the power forward for them? I'm not sure. I'll come back to it. Like I said, I don't mind if I miss a couple of these. For the Raptors, I think Fred VanVleet will start at the point guard position. I'm guessing they're not going to have Scotty Barnes starting. Yeah, didn't think so. Gary Trent Jr. starting at the 2. Pascal Siakam at the 4. Oh, by the way, I might be blocking a couple of the ones like the Blazers and the Wizards in the corner. So I apologize about that. I'll make sure to read the names. For the Raptors, their small forward is probably going to be OG Anunoby. I would kind of like to see them. And then maybe Boucher at the center. Not Boucher. Kem Birch. I would like to see them try and run Siakam at a small ball center maybe and put OG or probably Scotty Barnes there at the 4. I think that gives them the most talent when they come out to start the season. For the Jazz, Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell. We already have Bojan Bogdanovic. Joe Ingles he'll probably come off the bench. Royce O'Neal was starting to end the season. And then Rudy Gobert, 1 seed in the West, not really need to change much. And for the Wizards, who did change a lot, Spencer Dinwiddie now starting at the point guard instead of Russell Westbrook. You've got Bradley Beal. You have Hachimura. I think we'll start there. Do you think Kuzma is going to start? They do not think Kuzma is going to start. Okay. Maybe is Kispert going to start for them? No. At the center position, they're going to have maybe not Bryant. They think it's going to be Gafford. Daniel Gafford, that would make sense. He had a really good year for them. At the small forward position, who is their small forward? They didn't, not Troy Brown Jr. They traded him. Contavious Caldwell-Pope probably. Oh, do I have to type Caldwell? Caldwell equal sign Pope. Okay, there he is. All right, so I'm missing 3. The Knicks shooting guard. Who is the Knicks shooting guard? Who am I blanking on? I'm trying to think. I watched a lot of Knicks this past season, but I'm trying to think of who it is. Reggie Bullock is gone, so it's not him. It's Fournier. They picked up Fournier. That's who it is. Okay, they picked up Evan Fournier. I thought it was someone from last year, and I was gonna be really disappointed in myself. So we have the Spurs power forward, and we have the Magic small forward. Oh, Magic small forward. No, it is Jonathan Isaac's already there. I was gonna say, how did I forget Jonathan Isaac? For the Spurs, who is their power forward? I've got Jakob Poeltl there, not Lucas Šamanić. It's not Primo because he's a small forward, and I already tried his name. Who am I blanking on that roster? Oh, I'm gonna miss 2, and it's gonna kill me. The Orlando Magic. Chuma Okeke, maybe? No. Who am I blanking on? Who did they have last season? Because they were really injured last year. Who was injured last season for them? Because they didn't pick anyone up. I'm really gonna miss 2. That's heartbreaking. I just don't know. I just can't think of them right now. Spurs. Who is on that Spurs roster? 11 seconds. I'm going to miss it. I'm going to miss the 2. I have Keldon Johnson. I have Derek White, DeJounte Murray, Jakob Poeltl. It's not going to be... Oh, it's going to be Vassell. Vassell? It's not Vassell? Oh, I just highlighted the entire page. All right. The 2 I missed were Terrence Ross and Doug McDermott. That's a name I forgot. Terrence Ross, he was one of those guys that was injured. Just didn't come to mind for me. 148 out of 150. We were so close. So I think right now with the camera, you should be able to see the whole list. This is what they project every starting lineups, every team starting lineup to be. It doesn't say what it's based on. I'm guessing it's based on like an article by someone, but anyways, if your team starting lineup is going to be, if you think that it should be different than this, let me know in the comment section below. Let me know if you tried taking the quiz either alongside me or if you took it before the video, how you did on it. Let me know if you like these quiz videos, and let me know which teams you like the best. Looking at these starting lineups, it's kind of cool to see the way that the league has shifted. Some teams that I really like the Chicago Bulls, who got a lot better. The Hornets look super fun. There's just so many different roster combinations, like I talked about in this video, that teams could go with, and I'm super excited to see the way that teams start the season. Let me know what you think about your team starting lineup. Who would you have starting if you were the coach, and who do you just in general think / want to start going forward to start your team season? About a month away from the season. Let me know how you like the video. Recommend other quizzes in the comment section below. The quiz will be in the comments if you want to check it out. I appreciate y'all watching. I'll see y'all later. Real one, say back.